1922. On this day in 1833, Andrew Jackson became the first U.S. president to ride in a train. 1933, first drive-in movie theater opened up in Camden, New Jersey. 1934, the Securities and Exchange Commission was founded. 1944, the D-Day invasion of Europe took place. In World War II, as Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. 1966, black activist James Meredith was shot and wounded as he marched along a Mississippi highway to encourage black voter registration. 1971, the final episode of The Ed Sullivan Show aired on CBS after more than 2 decades. Gladys Knight and the Pips were the musical guests. You ever watch The Ed Sullivan Show back in the day? He always looked like he didn't want to be there. 1978, the news magazine 2020 debuted on ABC television. 1992, New York Mets first baseman Eddie Murray broke Mickey Mantle's record for career runs batted in by a switch hitter when he drove in his 1,510th run of his career. However, that Met team was absolutely dreadful, in spite of having the highest payroll in baseball. Can't buy wins, you know. 2011, after weeks of denials and claims his account had been hacked, Congressman Anthony Weiner of Queens admitted to sending inappropriate messages and photos to women online. Anthony Weiner, you know, you just can't make this stuff up. You can't. 2015, author and attorney Vincent Bugliosi, who successfully prosecuted Charles Manson, died at the age of 80. Read that book sometime, Helter Skelter by Vincent Bugliosi. Amazing. Celebrity birthdays today. Actor Robert Englund, who played Freddy in those Nightmare on Elm Street movies, 75 today. Actor Harvey Fierstein, 70 today. Comedian and actress Sandra Bernhard, 67. Retired tennis great Bjorn Borg is 66. Comedian and actor Colin Quinn, formerly of MTV and Saturday Night Live, 63 today. Paul Giamatti, actor. Sideways, Cinderella Man. He's been in a ton of things. 55 today. All right, and Aubrey Anderson Emmons, actress on Lily. She's Lily on Modern Family. It's Monday, folks. She's 15 today. There you go. Today in history. Today's celebrity birthdays on WCDO.
McDowell and Walker is your local.
I thank you, Robert. Hey, now again, folks, you know, absolutely.
She stood on the tracks, waving her arms, leading me to that third rail shock. Quick as a wink, she changed her mind. She gave me a night, that's all it was. What will it take until I stop kidding myself, wasting my time? Whoa, there's nothing else I can do, 'cause I'm doing it all for later.
last week's Sunday Sunrise. That's right. Memorial Day weekend. I did it all for Lena. Blocked by Facebook. Not available for listening in Russia. The poor Russian people denied the privilege of listening to Billy and I give it our all for Lena, whoever she is, from back in the day, one of Billy's girlfriends. Yeah, they've been blocked, but the good news is that could be heard here in the United States. Now, I must say, his big shot on yesterday's program, that'll have to be trimmed down entirely if my Sunday Sunrise is to survive. His, and of course, Don Henley's thing, it was Sunset Grill, I believe. Yeah, Sunset Grill, a song chosen by the Monsignor for yesterday's show on relaxation. I thought it was a fine choice. I sang along with Don Henley. They have blocked it. Well, it was UMG, not Don Henley specifically. Large multinational corporation, UMG, blocked it. It'll have to be trimmed out, and that's exactly what I'll do. Again, I'm going off to my job now, and thank you very much. I'll be back. I'm a huge fan of the late, great Andy Kaufman. Of course, the song by R.E.M. honors him, as well as the film starring Jim Carrey, Man on the Moon. Anyway, it is still Monday, and again, this probably won't see the light of day, but I would say the Daily News, their headline, Don't Say Ron DeSantis, the guy down there in Florida. The LGBTQ community, New York City, they want nothing to do with the man, so he's not invited to whatever event. Naturally, folks, Now, Ron DeSantis, he doesn't like the word gay to be said by certain people in certain circumstances, certain places, situations. I'm not going to mention where those places are. This is all well available in the news where it is that Ron DeSantis doesn't want to hear the word gay, and the LGBTQ people are just saying, we don't want nothing to do with DeSantis. Now, in the news recently, because he's done it again. Oops, there he goes again. First, he did it to Disney down there in Florida. And, holding them, financially accountable for that deal that they had on their land down there. That's going to cost the surrounding counties there a lot of money. And whose fault is that? Ron DeSantis' fault. Again, check it out with Lawrence O'Donnell on MSNBC. He's got the documentation to show that where what he did, DeSantis, it's going to raise the property taxes of Florida people substantially, those that live in the surrounding communities adjacent to Disney. Isn't that fantastic? And now, he's doing it again on another issue entirely. Morning Joe was talking about it this morning on the program. I'll have that in just I'm not going to bring Morning Joe out, although I probably could find the clip. No. We'll talk about this. We will.
Are you having fun? If you believe they put a man on the moon, man on the moon. If you believe there's nothing up in between, nothing.
Okay, I got it. It came to my head. I didn't read it anywhere. I didn't Google it. It had to do with baseball. Again, DeSantis going after the Rays because they happen to tweet a few things in the aftermath of these deadly school shootings. They're against it. I'm against it. So too the New York Yankees. I remember the story. On the very same day, the Rays went on to Twitter and tweeted their feelings about the thing. Yeah, they took a day off of tweeting regular baseball stuff to get serious. Deep down and serious, the Rays did, and DeSantis has given him a shot. Bam! He absolutely is. He doesn't like that. When, again, Major League Baseball teams that happen to operate in his state say things that he doesn't want to hear about, like support for, common sense gun legislation, that really pisses DeSantis off. So he's cut them off for their new ballpark. Now, how much was it going to be? How much state money was going to be thrown into the thing? That's a little too much detail for me. I think I gave enough detail in the fact that it's DeSantis. Again, going after Disney, going after the Rays. Now, is Governor Hochul going to do that to the Yankees up here? No way, folks. Again, New York State, we are taking gun violence seriously. New legislation signed by the governor over the last couple of days makes that very clear. We're setting the mark. We're actually trailblazing how to make the world safer for our children in schools and for people to go out shopping or do whatever they want to do. go to work without being fearful of some wild-eyed madman's going to come in brandishing a military-style firearm. Taking care of business here, not so much down there in Florida with Ron DeSantis in charge, I'll tell you.
FM 101, AM 1490, and 92.3 FM in Norwich, WCDO.
Boy, the late, great Andy, he would go after DeSantis. Maybe he'd challenge him to a wrestling match or something like that. And the same goes for his buddy Abbott over there in Texas, too. Governor Greg Abbott over there in Texas, the same thing. Wrong on guns. Did you know he challenged the state of California to a gun buying contest a few years ago out there in Twitter? He can't delete the Twitter that he made a few years ago where he challenged California. Well, actually, he didn't challenge California. He challenged the citizens of Texas to buy more guns so they could beat California. That's not the right kind of leadership that we need moving forward. At least, I think that's just a complete outrage upon the people of Texas. What they need is a new governor that won't be promoting more weapons, but rather the opposite. I mean, these things seem very simple to me, very simple and common sense. Here's Timothy B. Schmidt with his brand new song, Simple Man. Buy it today, wherever you buy fine music.
I'm a simple man, and I'm on my way to whatever lies ahead while aging day by day. And I don't know where I'll be next, or if I'll be at all. I'm not privy to life's protocol. And I'm not seeking gold, I don't look for fame. That's all in my past now, it's another game. Though I no longer need the things I did before, I can't help but think there's so much more. forget, and you make it seem so easy, almost like it's fun. It must be peaceful when your day is done. The sun is setting once again. It won't be back for hours, so until then, lay you down upon this bed. I feel heavy and the night is taking over. There's no moon up in the sky. We can sleep until it's light. Let the darkness be our blanket. Lay down.
All right, don't forget the album, too, Day by Day. Buy it wherever you buy fine music. Now, Timothy B. Schmit, of course, member of the Eagles, and from his solo career, Friday Night is always featured every Friday night here at ApartmentKaraoke.com. Why, it was just this past Friday, a show that has not yet made it up to YouTube. I'm kind of wondering how it would respond to a Friday Night by Timothy B. Schmit, and really in, multiple tracks of it. The first one done last week, Memorial Day weekend, I sang it with Timothy B. Schmit. That's right, at the Through These Walls Hotel in Suffolk County, Long Island. I was down to see Faye. And this past Friday, I was not down to see Faye. I sang it at the Two Heart Sunglasses Supermarket on top of the one from last week. So a double track. I should probably play it now just for fun. Again, I'm not even sure what this is. Is this really a Monday show, or maybe it's part of Tuesday's show? I'm not sure, but that would be a lot of fun. Go back to Friday night.
Like 15 minutes left.
It was Faye that asked me if I was going to do a Friday night. We were sitting in her vehicle. It was 15 minutes to midnight. I said, yeah, I am. And then Faye left. And now time travel. Friday night. Here we go.
Okay, now myself, absolutely. June 3rd. And I'm going to join in with those two guys from May the 27th. I'm going to double track it.
Let's end this conversation. You need to take a break, and I don't want to fight. I've had a minor revelation. Let's deal with it later, 'cause it's Friday night. So hard, now it's time to kick back and set our sights. We can make it pretty simple, put it on the back burner. It's a Friday night. Feel that warm breeze blowing through the window. Sure do like it this way. Something tells me this is the way to go. I've got a few things to say. Something to your best nature that's right. Open up your blue eyes, forget the things we said. I could be your lover, you can shine the light. The fire of the candle, it's a Friday night. Let's go look for hidden treasure. I wanna dig it up while the moon is bright. Living under pressure, gotta see your eyes sparkle. It's a Friday night. Roll that big world right off your shoulders. I will try to do the same. If we don't act now, we'll simply grow older. Another vivid picture in a frame. Brushing off your blue jeans, tumbled down your hair. Take a look around, you can do it anywhere.
Okay, Timothy B. Schmidt. Don't forget Timothy's new album, Day by Day, and the hit new single, Simple Man. Absolutely. We're switching now to, once again, WBAB 102.3, Long Island's only classic rock.
Maybe the recording not the highest quality, but clearly you can tell it's Tom Petty with American Girl. Fantastic tune. And I must have decided to, go ahead and do that. Maybe use iHeart, WBAB 102.3, Friday night, huge party, Anyway, that's an apartment karaoke tradition. I sometimes wonder what Timothy B. Schmidt would think of that, his song Friday Night being sung every Friday night as a tradition, out there somewhere on an internet-based show. I'm sure he'd think it'd be fine. Now, obviously, he wouldn't want to know that I've been using it to make money off of the song Friday Night. Then he'd be very happy to know that I haven't made a dime off of that song or any of these other great songs that are featured here at Apartment Karaoke Tradition. And now you know. And now you know, right? Spanish Hall. No, say it again. Elton John, are you there?
No.
Now you know.
Spanish Harlem are not just pretty words to say. I thought I knew, but now I know that rose trees never grow in New York City. Until you've seen this trash can dream come true.
there you have it from his album Honky Chateau, Sir Elton John. I call that Doing the Mona Lisa's a fantastic tune. I was going to check back with the Heartbeat of the Tri-County. They're doing something called Lunchtime with the Oldies. Let's see what they got.
Go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me.
Beach Boys, great, fantastic. You know, a while back, legendary Beach Boy himself, Brian Wilson, was asked by Monsignor Jim Vaughn what his favorite Beach Boy song was, and Brian said it was God Only Knows. Brian said it was the only song that the Beach Boys did that actually mentions God in the song. And also the Monsignor's favorite Beach Boys song is also God Only Knows. Naturally, the Monsignor.
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, well, life was too far, believe me. The world was sure nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, though life was to go on, believe me, the world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without.
God only knows what I'd be and where I'd be without Faye. That's why I included the great hit on my first love album, For Faye. For Faye, ... Now back to the Heartbeat of the Tri-County.
Sporting Goods in Norwich, we take sporting goods to the next level.
All right, they're in the middle of commercial break. I'll be back. This is the morning show. Yeah, they're just finished. Well, I'm finishing up. They're not. Yeah, again, they do a full hour of Lunchtime with the Oldies. Fantastic tune, Buddy Holly. That'll be the day when he died. Of course, the day that he died was the song that Don McLean made. February the 3rd, I believe, 1959, out there in Iowa. Plane crash. Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and others on that plane died. Don McLean with the song American Pie, The day the music died, of course, Buddy Holly, absolutely. Talked about that song on the program, and of course sung it many, many times, if not the American Pie version of that melody, then of course with Weird Al Yankovic and the song about Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, Weird Al, Tip of My Hat, for the great tune, The Saga Begins. I gotta go, so I'll be back. Bye-bye now.
WCDO Lunchtime with the Oldies.
Okay, it's 7:23. Hey, 7:23. Yay. It's my birthday. If Faye were here, she'd say, hey, look at the clock. 7:23. It's your birthday. I said, thanks, Faye. In the background, Genesis with their huge hit songs. That's all from their 1983 self-titled album, Genesis. An album that some people call the Mama album again. That is incorrect. Now, I must say, there was a Mama tour for that album. I went to it at Dallas Reunion Arena back in the 80s. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, Phil is always welcome here. You guys know of my love for Phil. And of course, I named my cardiovascular ultrasound machine in his honor. Both the first one and the one that we have now after the upgrade, Phil 2. Okay, this is fantastic. Crank it up at the heartbeat. So in the news today, Boris Johnson has barely survived a no-confidence vote over there in England. They say his time is now numbered, kind of like what happened to Margaret Thatcher. Once you lose that, or rather, once you barely get through that no-confidence vote, you're very much weakened as a prime minister. According to the news, the guy likes to party. He's been partying at 10 Downing Street, been drinking a lot during COVID, and the people of England are very upset with him. And so, yeah, they've been booing him. Here's Rob Ray.
WCDO with Rob Ray in the morning. I would have thought by now that everybody everywhere knows that you have to have pants on when you go to a restaurant. Apparently, a disgruntled Chinese restaurant patron in Queens, know it well, was kicked out of the establishment for not wearing pants. Security video shows the man returning to the restaurant with a hammer, smashing windows, smashing the glass surrounding the buffet area. And, well, he had no pants, no underwear. So, obviously, police had to come and take the man away and figure out why does he feel like he can go to a Chinese buffet restaurant without pants. Maybe we'll just never know.
At the Amphenol Corporation in Sydney, we have a wide range of
I love catching these little stories that they tell on the radio, whether it's here upstate or downstate. You know, for example, WBAB 102.3, Long Island's only classic rock, when Roger and JP tell a story and something like that. And so then to work off of that, the guy with no pants, no underwear, Chinese food buffet, what do? You know, from a musical standpoint, how do you follow up such a great story as that, Rob Ray? I'll tell you what I did do. I did Billy Joel, you may be right, from his 1980 album Glass Houses, and I looked down at the recorder, and the time hadn't moved, so I obviously didn't record it, and I'm not going to do it again. Now, speaking about Roger and JP and the stories that they tell, while I was down there over the weekend, not this past weekend, but Memorial Day weekend, and their top 10 list was songs that begin with the word don't. And yeah, someone called in this one. They called in, they said, Don't Do Me Like That by Tom Petty. And then JP said, you're right, that's on the list. And then they kept going on with more and more songs that begin with the word don't. And there's a lot of great tunes out there that begin with the word don't, like this old fantastic tune. Yeah, Billy. Why did I do this one? I don't know.
The waiters in your grand cafe leave their tables when you blink. Oh, every dog must have his every day. Every drunk must have his drink. Don't wait for answers, just take your chances. Don't ask me why. All your life you had to stand in line. Still you're standing on your feet. Oh, all your choices made you change your mind. Now your calendar's complete. Don't wait for answers, just take your chances. Don't ask me why. You can say the human heart is only make-believe. I am only fighting fire with fire. But you are still a victim of the accidents you leave. Sure as I'm a victim of desire. You're all the servants in your new hotel. Throw their roses at your feet. Oh, fool them all, but baby, I can tell. You're no stranger to the street. Don't ask for favors. Don't talk to strangers. Don't ask me why. Yesterday you were an only child. Now your ghosts have gone away. Oh, you can kill them in the classic style. Now you parlez français. Don't look for answers. You took your chances. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why.
Now, parlez-vous français? I don't speak French or any other second language, but there's this interesting message that I received as a post to one of my videos that I'm going to read right now. I definitely am on top of something. It doesn't really matter what it is. All right, let's switch back to the heartbeat. Maybe they got something I can read over. Yeah, that's fine. That'll work just well for me. Now, going into my videos, and it was the one on the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, New York. For those of you that haven't visited Cooperstown, of course, the National Baseball Hall of Fame is there, and other stuff, other places to go, like, for example, the Farmers Museum. So I'm switching now to the middle of that one.
Now, what's that website address there?
Just look under Farmers Museum.
Farmers Museum? Thanks, Doug. Have a great day.
Yeah, that's Doug. He runs the carousel there, the Empire, very famous New York State carousel. You know, it's spinning around and around. I'm watching the video right now. But the comments, some guy, I don't even know how to read his name. You know, it's kind of like one of those Russian names, maybe. I don't know. But he writes, when visiting another city or country, every educated person must visit a museum. Visiting museums is a very useful and fascinating. A love for the eternal and beautiful is awakened in a person. The beginnings of greatness and respect for history are inculcated. It is impossible to turn the excursion into something banal, ordinary, and boring. The person should be a comprehensively developed person, cultured, educated, critically and analytically thinking with knowledge of foreign languages. It is the knowledge of a foreign language that opens wide prospects for a person to realize his or her creative potential, career and financial growth. I would like to recommend the practical training course by Yuri, how do you pronounce this? Ivantisov, called Polyglot Notes, Practical Tips for Learning Foreign Language, where you can find lots of useful information, how to learn a foreign language quickly, learn a foreign language, and realize your creative potential on an international scale. The international community needs creative ideas. Thanks to the author of the channel for a very fascinating tour. Now, of course, as you know, I am the author of the channel, David Williams. I certainly am. I wrote to the man. I presume it's a guy. I don't know. I wrote, "Thank you for your kind and, dare I say it, thought-provoking response," smiling face emoji. Very nice fella popped onto my thing. Obviously, he's trying to sell something. And for that, well, I've got something I'm going to sing now. Now, I would do the Beatles song, Michelle, where I, would sing some of the French language, of course, with Sir Paul McCartney on lead, but knowing as I do that any Beatles song that I do is going to be blocked, banned down by YouTube, that's right, then I'm going to have to switch to something else. A tune that I did on my First Love album for Faye by Foreigner, and it's called Waiting for a Girl Like You, and I'm going to do it right now. It's posted out there by, I believe, Hartuna Forever. Yeah, Waiting for a Girl Like You. Yeah, that's the only thing, because I know that the Foreigner will get through. It'll make it through. Now, it'll say that you cannot monetize this. All money to Foreigner, to the band Foreigner, or whatever multinational corporation owns the rights to the song Waiting for a Girl Like You. Absolutely. All to them. All to them. I don't expect to make a penny from apartmentkaraoke.com. Absolutely not.
So long, I've been looking too hard, I've been waiting too long. Sometimes I don't know what I will find. I only know it's a matter of time. When you love someone, when you love someone,
All right, Foreigner with a huge hit posted on YouTube by Hartuna Forever. Perhaps fans of Foreigner, or indeed, maybe it's one of those guys. Anyway, I got to go to my job now. It is the 7th of June, and I'll be back probably at lunch or after work. Thank you very much. All right, I'm on my lunch, and this is Timothy B. Schmidt with Simple Man. I'll just put him on the down low. Headline by the Daily News, they say guns are under fire. Isn't that strange? Yeah, guns are under fire. Actually, the American people are under fire. You know, guns, they shoot, you know, and they shoot deadly bullets at people, sometimes kids, as was the case in Uvalde. So when they frame it like that it's the guns that are under fire, I strongly disagree. It's the people that are under fire. Now, tonight on the program, I'll have some great stories. Once again, another golf story. Phil Mickelson, he says he's ready for a fresh start. You guys know the hot water that Phil has gotten himself into with the comments that he's made about this Saudi Golf League too. Reporter Alan Shipnuck from Golf Digest. Yes, I've had that story too, and I read it on the program. So yes, I'm fully aware of the Saudi Golf League. Greg Norman, likewise, in hot water recently. He's spouting off, attacking the greatest golfer in the history of the world, Jack Nicklaus, just because Jack, he didn't want anything to do with this. They offered him $100 million to do what Greg Norman basically is doing. And Jack's like, thanks, but no thanks. I think I'll pass on that. Did you know that Jack Nicklaus helped start the PGA Tour, the one in which the LIV Saudi Golf League is competing again? So, yeah, Jack wasn't interested, despite the fact massive bucks. Now, Norman, he says high seven figures were offered up to Tiger Woods. Tiger, like Jack, said thanks, but no thanks. I'm not interested in high seven figures. Tiger's got a lot of money, folks. He doesn't need any kind of, extra money like that, especially if it's going to tarnish his legacy. For Tiger and for Jack, it's all about the legacy of the game, and that's the last thing they're going to do is to sign on to this whole Saudi league. So I'll have the story tonight regarding what Phil Mickelson said. How about that? And yeah, sometimes I do an Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, and I understand it's about boxing. And, of course, Rocky III, Rocky Balboa, and, of course, Mr. T, that's right. He plays a boxer. You guys are aware, Clubber Lang, and he defeats, Rocky on the first bout. Rocky's going to come back in the second bout in that film. Yes, I've seen that movie, too. Have you ever seen Tiger eyeing a birdie putt down? If you've seen that, then you know he's going to make the putt. There's no question. I'll bet you dollars to donuts Tiger's going to make that putt. I give him great odds. Now, how about that Gary McCord, Phil Mickelson gambling story that I had? And it was Gary McCord throwing $20 bills out of the tower at whatever hole he was covering at the time. For Phil, you understand.
Now I'm back on my feet, just a man and his will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You change your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams that go.
Survivor with the Eye of the Tiger from their album, The Main Event. Fantastic thing. On my lunch hour, right here at the Gulf gas station. And, well, I'm switching now. I think we might be news.
Said 45-year-old Henry Stellato of Hamden on June 2nd after deputies responded to a domestic dispute. Stellato barricaded himself inside the Hamden residence and refused to allow family members to leave. He was armed with a shotgun and made threats to harm law enforcement. Stellato was eventually convinced to put down the shotgun and exit the residence. He was uncooperative and physically resisted being taken into custody. One special response team member was sliced by a razor blade that Stellato had taped between his fingers. He was charged with menacing a police officer, assault, 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon, plus obstructing governmental administration. He was arraigned and sent to the Delaware County Jail without bail. A Delaware County health survey is available for county residents to fill out and submit. Heather Warner of Delaware County Public Health explains.
Every 3 years, every health department in the state has to submit a community health assessment. So we work with the hospitals as well to compile all the data and submit it to the state and then come up with a plan on how to address some of these health issues.
Warner said that the deadline to fill out the survey is this Friday. The link to the survey can be found at DelawareCountyPublicHealth.com or at the Delaware County Public Health Facebook page. Broome County DA's office announced that 21-year-old Brandon Carlson of Endwell pleaded guilty to vehicular assault, operating a motor vehicle while impaired, causing injury, attempted criminal possession of stolen property, driving while ability impaired by drugs, among other charges. Carlson was arrested after he stole a pickup truck, led police on a high-speed chase, struck another vehicle that resulted in the driver suffering a serious injury. Carlson was under the influence of methamphetamines at the time. He's expected to be sentenced to 2 1/3 to 7 years in prison when sentenced in Broome County Court in September. More than 80 people were displaced last weekend at the Norwich Super 8 motel after money from family enrichment that paid for them to stay there ran out. Many of the people have mental health issues, drug addictions, or were registered sex offenders. The city of Norwich and Chenango County have short-term housing plans for many of those displaced. A meeting of city officials was called over the weekend to find other temporary options for those displaced. The Tri-County forecast, increasing clouds this afternoon, showers likely, maybe even a late afternoon thunderstorm, the high 75. Overnight cloudy with showers possible, maybe thunderstorms, the low 55. On Wednesday, partly sunny, the high 75. Thursday, cloudy with showers early, the high 70. Friday, partly sunny and the high 75. For WCDO Radio News, I'm Rob Ray.
The noon hour has arrived. It's lunchtime with the oldies on WCDO.
Wow thing. Wow thing. Wow thing. I think I love you. That's fantastic, you know. But I was going to actually do something else. Now, they mentioned this town, Norwich, and they're throwing people out. They've got mental health issues. Many times they have problems with drugs, and they're throwing them out to walk out onto the street, you know. And they're being, what was the word? Displaced. That was the word they're thinking of. Now, I think of Phil Collins, and I'm serious, and his great song from his album, Serious Hits, in which he talks about, you know, people being displaced, people being hungry, people being out on the street, no home. And, of course, that was back in 1989. They came after Phil. Of course they came after Phil. Folks, again, they did. They came after him. How could a rich guy like Phil Collins sing a song like that? How dare he? Again, Phil Collins, give me a call, 573-680-0356. We can sing Another Day in Paradise, my friend, in my car Malibu, whenever you like, or in my apartment with permission of my landlord, M.
She calls out to the man on the street, "Sir, can you help me? It's cold and I'm nowhere to sleep. There's somewhere you can blisters on the soles of her feet. She can't walk, but she's trying. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, think twice, it's just another day for you and me in paradise. Just think about it.
Thank you, Phil, for giving us all something to think about. And back to the heartbeat of the Tri-County.
Oh, WCDO. Yes, that is the way that song ends. School's out. It will be out in just a couple of weeks, right? That's Alice Cooper. And I'm sure you've heard by now, Alice Cooper will be performing in Binghamton at the Arena. Yes, in September. And tickets go on sale this Friday morning. And guess what? We've got tickets you can win before they go on sale. Win them before you can buy them right here on WCDO. Matter of fact, maybe I'll give away a pair during this show today. So if you're an Alice Cooper fan, you need to stay tuned right here to win your tickets. Win them before you can buy them. This is Lunchtime with the Oldies. All the great hits from days gone by, like School's Out and the Trog's Wild Thing, brought to you by Corbin Curley and certified financial planner Ed Curley with Wells Fargo Advisors, Route 7 Oneonta. For professional financial and investment advice, call them. They will give you a free review of your finances. The number is 433-0333.
The summer travel and camping season is here.
All right, so I missed out on that, you know. School's out with Alice Cooper now. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he's coming to Binghamton in September. That's great. I like to talk about concert news. Oftentimes I've talked about Phil Collins's his shows before, whether they were his solo tour, his last one entitled the Not Dead Yet tour. I'm very happy that Phil is still among us, as well as the Genesis concert entitled Domino. No, The Last Domino. That's right, The Last Domino. Phil said he's done, you know, and while other people in the band, for example, Tony Banks, and of course, Michael Rutherford, they may not agree that it's totally over yet. Phil could still be talked out of that. He could still be talked down out of retirement. Again, Phil, he's still performing well. Now, during the concert, The Last Domino, Phil was performing all of his songs in a chair because of health reasons. Now, what's Phil's health like? Again, folks, I'm not going to give you Phil's confidential health information here on the program. It was just clear that, Phil Collins, he doesn't need to stand up and run around the stage with a microphone. Phil, you just put him in a chair, and you let him sing, and what comes out of his mouth is pure magic as far as I'm concerned. Phil Collins, absolutely. Well, we're joined now by Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Helplessly hoping her harlequin hovers nearby, awaiting a word, gasping at glimpses of gentle true spirit, he runs, wishing he could fly high, only to trip at the sound of goodbye. Wordlessly watching, he waits by the window and wonders at the empty place inside. Heartlessly helping himself to her bad dreams, he worries, did he hear a goodbye, or even hello? They are one person, they are two alone, they are three together, they are for each other. Stand by the stairway, you'll see something certain to tell you. Confusion has its cause. Love isn't lying, it's loose in a lady who lingers, saying she is lost and choking on hello. They are two alone, they are three together, they are for each other.
All right, Crosby, Stills, and Nash with that hit song, and I'll be right back in a moment. You listening to The Morning Show? I say no. I say no, despite my love of the Beatles. I've talked about it ad infinitum over the past several years on this show. However, well, they have a very strict policy over there at YouTube. No Beatles tunes are allowed to go by. Many other songs go by, and they say, fine, as long as you don't monetize, they can go up on YouTube. If you try any Beatles, or really some other artists, like, for example, Don Henley with the Sunset Grill that the Monsignor played on Sunday. Yes, from his solo career, I sang it. I was happy to do so. Joined Don Henley in the singing of it, but it was banned, and then I tried to trim it out. It took forever. Finally trimmed it out, and as well as, yes, the problems that were there, I cut it out and I do it again. Oh, and it was Billy Joel, his great song, Big Shot. It was Big Shot. Yeah, that was right. And I cut them both out, and then what it did was all the other songs remaining that the Monsignor played that day, as well as a couple of songs that I selected, including You Raise Me Up by Josh Groban. Now they all say that they're banned. Not only can't you not monetize, you cannot show it. I was like, well, how could that be? The first time I ran it through the processor, it said all those other songs except for those two. Again, the Don Henley tune, the Sunset Grill, as well as the Billy Joel song Big Shot. Now, for the Don Henley song, I actually thought of replacing it. They said you could replace it with another piece of music from their catalog of their library of elevator music. You could select one of those songs. Instead, I actually thought of going John Denver. I said, Sunset Grill. Okay, well, it is Sunday Sunrise. How about Sunrise Grill? And, the one with the, the flapjacks coming up. I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. I mean, if that would have come up, that really, I could have tried to replace the Sunset Grill with that one. Thank God I'm a country boy with John Denver, and then threw it past him and see if that one would be okay. But I just decided no. I just trimmed them both out, and like I said, completely trimmed out. And when I came back, the entire show was banned. I was like, well, fine. I still got the Veed.io. Haha, you got it, Veed.io? It's a website that helps you create new videos, and I thank, once again, them with their video tutorial. Great guy out there whose name, let me see, Alec, the guy with like the Aussie accent who does the great videos there at Veed.io. I thank him. If it wasn't for Alec, I wouldn't have known how to put one together. He explained it very clearly to me how to do so. He didn't explain this other part. Once they go to YouTube and, Content ID gets a hold of it, it might go through, it might not. That's why I'm talking over this thing. This is just a garden variety morning show, June the 7th, 2022. The last thing I want is trouble from YouTube telling me that hello, goodbye, not going to make it. I'm not saying it. I hope everyone's clear of the fact that I'm not going to do it. I am not going to.
That's Hello, Goodbye, the Beatles, Lunchtime with the Oldies. I'm Craig Stevens. Thank you for coming along here. I've got more great hits from the 50s, 60s, and 70s coming your way. And I told you at the top of the program that we've acquired some Alice Cooper concert tickets. They go on sale for Binghamton in September. For Binghamton, okay, right down the road. They go on sale this Friday morning. But we've got tickets you can win before you can buy them. All right? Stay tuned. You just might get your opportunity. Speaking of winning, coming up the anniversary waltz. If you or someone you know is celebrating an anniversary this week or weekend, call it in because you can be a big winner on Friday. Every week we give away a $50 gift card to Cattleman Steakhouse and Lounge and a beautiful bouquet of flowers from Sydney Flowers and Gifts. They're both located on Main Street in Sydney. More on the waltz and the weather after this.
Summer concerts.
I thank them at the Heartbeat of the Tri-County. Now I got to get back to my job. Just a brief song. This one's by Stephen Bishop. I was very happy to have one of his tunes, from the motion picture Tootsie. It Might Be You on my second love album for Faye. This is Not That.
Down in Jamaica, they got lots of pretty women. Steal your money, then they break your heart. Lots of Sue, she's in love with old Sam. Taken from the fire into the frying pan. On and on, she just keeps on trying. And she smiles, but she feels like crying. On and on, on and on, on and on. Oh, Jimmy sits alone in the moonlight. Saw his woman kiss another man. So he takes a ladder, steals the stars from the sky. Puts on Sinatra and starts to cry. On and on, he just keeps on trying. And he smiles when he feels like crying. On and on, on and on, on and on. Well, my first time is the last time. Can make you feel so bad. But if you know it, show it. Hold on tight, don't let her
posted out there on YouTube by Chronali 819, Stephen Bishop, with that great hit song On and On. Now, speaking about Sinatra, as he does sing in the song, that's right, when he sings clearly, puts on Sinatra and starts to cry, at that point I would maybe do a great Frank Sinatra number like New York, New York, or whatever it's going to be, you know, but I'm not going to. I got to get back to my job. But now, folks, if you haven't heard my show last week entitled Frankie's Letter, it was a story about a letter that Frank Sinatra wrote to a guy by the name of Mike Royko with the Daily News, and letting him know what's what back in the day. I'm not going to read the letter or relay its content. If you want to know what Frankie wrote, go back to that show on my songboard entitled Frankie's Letter and listen to that program. There's a lot of great Frank Sinatra songs in it, and a couple of other anecdotes as well from the great man's career. I'll be back after work. Okay, so I'm off of work now, and it's almost 10 to 6, you know. Anyway, sometimes I like to get rain into the program. You know, I might even get some lightning and thunder into it. It's pouring down pretty hard, you know, so I'm sitting by the window, you know, in that little dining area. I think I've talked about it before in my apartment. Yeah, second floor of this old house. That's right, in upstate New York. And I'm looking down upon Malibu. Hi, Malibu. Yeah, my car in the driveway getting really, really wet. Getting the washing, right? Yeah. They always tell you on the weather report, today is not a good day for washing, you know, because it's going to rain and stuff like that. And it's good to know this information. Absolutely. So, yeah. So, anyway, a lot of things going on. I will have that story about the Saudi Golf League, you know, and Phil Mickelson. Since I've, you know, got off of work, there's been a comment that he made about, had really more to do with his gambling. I'll make mention of what his comment was about it. He has finally come out, you know. He's been laying low for a while, and which is understandable. But right now, what I'm going to do, is I'll be back in a little while. Absolutely. You're listening to The Morning Show. The Masters. Fine tune. Written by Dave Loggins for The Masters. I'm looking at the YouTube video out there, posted out there by Tommy Phillips. I've often gone to this thing, you know, because there's like no stress with it at all. It's like a little over an hour long, and you can pretty much, you know, you can kind of digress. You're not going to run out of music. I mean, it's pretty much cool in that respects. Now, I'll be talking, of course, about Lefty, Phil Mickelson, this evening. I do have a story from Golf Digest, and I'm just kind of enjoying this. Now, the video below this one, it says 1986 Masters Tournament Final Round broadcast. And there's Jack Nicklaus with his arm held aloft at the 17th hole. Yes, sir! Yeah, there's Vern Lundquist with the call at the 17th hole. What a great call by Vern. Anyway, this is a fantastic thing. I could talk about just that final round when Jack won his 6th green jacket, his 30 on the back 9. I could go hole by hole with it for you. But again, I don't have that kind of time. I'm trying to limit, again, how long these shows have, you know, become. And so, yeah, I definitely want to get onto that thing right off the bat. This whole thing about, the whole thing about, you know, Phil and the Saudi Golf League thing from the Golf Digest. Now, yes, I did get the report previously on this show from Alan Shipnuck. Alan said he released the information early so that he wouldn't be scooped by someone else. Yeah, some enterprising young reporter might scoop Alan of his story and the hard work that he did to get all this information out. And yes, I have talked about this stuff before. So, the story by Joel Beal. Phil to make a return to golf at the LIV Golf London event. Phil, now again, that's another thing I'm still not sure of, having not really heard it talked about broadcast-wise, but LIV, are they pronouncing it live, or is it just, I'm just going to say LIV, because that's it. Anyway, Lefty has jumped to LIV Golf and will play in this week's London event, ending the 51-year-old's 3-month sabbatical from golf. The news is not necessarily surprising. Phil has been among the most prominent names connected to the LIV Golf operations, And he noted in a February interview with Golf Digest that the PGA Tour's, quote, obnoxious greed, end quote, had him looking elsewhere to play professionally. Moreover, Phil's agent, Steve Loy, acknowledged in April that Phil had requested a release from the PGA Tour to play in LIV Golf's inaugural competition at the Centurion Club. However, Phil has remained out of the public eye since late February, when the Fire Pit Collective published an interview in which Phil claimed he was using the Saudi-backed golf circuit as a leverage against the PGA Tour, and claimed he had paid lawyers to draw up the league's operating charter. The story caused some backlash, with Phil issuing an apology for his, quote, reckless comments and stating he would be taking time away from the sport. He said, the past 10 years I have felt the pressure and stress slowly affecting me at a deeper level. I know I have not been my best and desperately need some time away to prioritize the ones I love most and work on being the man I want to be. In the fallout, Phil's primary sponsors, Callaway, Workday, KPMG, and Heineken Amstel, distanced themselves from Phil, all ending or pausing their business relationships with him. Phil skipped the Masters, a tournament he's won 3 times, for the first time since 1994, and 3 weeks ago dropped out of the PGA Championship in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a tournament where he was the defending champ. Phil's last appearance was at the Saudis International in February. He has not played in the United States since the Farmers Insurance Open in his hometown of San Diego in January. In a statement, Phil again apologized for his comments, but expressed that he is thrilled to join the LIV Golf Tour. He says, I am ready to come back to play the game I love, but after 32 years, this new path is a fresh start, one that is exciting for me at this stage of my career, and is clearly transformative, not just for myself, but ideally for the game and my peers. Phil said he intends to play in the majors, including next week's U.S. Open. Phil joins Dustin Johnson as headliners for the LIV Golf Series. Other notable names signed up for this week's London event include Louis Oosthuizen, Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, Taylor Gooch, Martin Kamer, Kevin Na, and Ian Poulter. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan has promised that any tour member who competes in an event on the rival league would face suspension from the PGA Tour and possibly a lifetime ban. The tour denied conflicting event releases to all tour members who requested to compete in the London event. And that's the end of the story. You know, my own personal views I've laid out before. I've talked about my concerns for the human rights records of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They're complicit in the death of the Washington Post journalist, Mr. Khashoggi. And that, to me, it's really very concerning that they would start up an event like this that's basically driven by massive amounts of money poured in by the Saudis. I have human rights concerns about the thing. You know, to me, golf really is about, well, it's a gentleman's game, and it's really a game really about fundamentally the major championships. The U.S. Open, of course, that's coming up this month. And, well, it's going to be a fantastic event. I'm going to be very excited to talk about it. When it happens, it's in Brookline, Massachusetts, actually, at the Country Club, site of where Francis Ouimet won as the only amateur ever to win the United States Open, and it was a fantastic thing. Well, I mean, at least the first. I'm not, Bobby Jones, of course, won the U.S. Open, but Francis Ouimet, the great story at Brookline. Or I think of the U.S. Ryder Cup team and their huge victory there that time, back in the day when, indeed, it was Ben Crenshaw. He had a good feeling about this the night before, and the U.S. team came back at Brookline. It was a great thing. But, yeah, I've been very clear that my concerns, again, for the tradition and the honor of the game, the honor, very important, is to not involve ourselves, again, specifically where the crown prince himself of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has been implicated widely known to be the case. And even Greg Norman admitted that everyone know it, but apparently it's not that big a deal for Mr. Norman as long as there's a massive amount of cash lay. Now, Jack Nicklaus, arguably the greatest golfer of all time, he was offered $100 million by the Saudis to do the same job Greg Norman's doing, and Jack Nicklaus declined it. And I say that's a smart move by Jack, a smart guy. He's not going to, pour away all the goodwill of all of his days, into this thing. To me, he's a smart guy, and he knows about the legacy of the thing, and the guy helped start the PGA Tour, so why would he do that? Absolutely not. Anyway, I'll be back with the next story in just a moment. You're listening to The Morning Show. Oh, yeah, I forgot. There were no other stories. I didn't have any. I was trying to keep it short, and I'm over an hour and a half, so yeah, I'm just basically stepping out. Joe Jackson, this great tune from 1982, posted out there by Clay Culver. I thank you, Clay. Check the incoming. You heard that little chime right there. I'm certain that you did. Oh, it's from our friends, folks, at Strawberry Fields, and they're saying all good, Now, for those of you that don't know, there is a place called Strawberry Fields hydroponic farms, believe it or not, between Skaneateles, New York, and Auburn, New York. You will find a place called Skaneateles,
Here's another song about North Carolina, about red dirt and pine needles and turpentine, something called tomato wine. I don't know.
down on Copper Line. Warm summer night, Copper Line, slip away past summertime, with smoke, moonshine, down on Copper Line. One time I saw my daddy dance, watched him moving like a man in a trance. He brought it back from the war in France, down on Copper Line. Branch water and tomato wine, creosote and turpentine, sour mash and new moonshine, down on Copper Line. Take me down on Copper Line. Oh, first kiss ever I took, stole a page from a romance book. Sky open and the earth shook, down on Copper Line. Took a fall from a windy height, I only knew how to hold on tight. Pray for love enough to last all night, down on Copper Line. Day breaks and the boy wakes and the dog barks and the bird sings and the sap rises and the angels sigh. Yeah. Try to go back as if I could. All spec house and plywood and tore up good, down on Copper Line. Doesn't come as a surprise to me, never touched my memory, while I'm lifting up the rising street, down on Copper Line. Half a mile down in Morgan Creek, I'm only living till the end of the week. Hercules and a hog-nosed snake, down on Copper Line, on Copper Line. Leave her down on Copper Line. Oh, down on Copper Line. Take me back down on Copper Line. Lay me down on Copper Line.
All right, that was JT taking us down on Copper Line. Love doing that. And I thank and posted out there on YouTube by Carrie McLeish. And thank you for listening to the morning show. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come on back again. Bye-bye now.